Today we're exploring one of the most bizarre success stories in cinema history, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. This glam rock musical went from complete box office disaster to becoming the longest-running theatrical release in film history. But the truth behind its creation and rise to cult status is stranger than fiction. The Rocky Horror Picture Show began life as a stage musical written by Richard O'Brien, an out-of-work actor who had been touring with productions of Hair and Jesus Christ Superstar in the early 1970s. O'Brien conceived and wrote the play set against the backdrop of the glam era that had manifested itself in British popular culture in the 1970s, stating that glam rock allowed me to be myself more. What started as a small stage production by an out-of-work actor who wanted to pay homage to the B-movies he loved, premiered at the Royal Court Theatre on June 19, 1973 and won the 1973 Evening Standard Theatre Award for Best Musical. The film was shot in the United Kingdom at Bray Studios and on location at Oakley Court, a country house best known for its earlier use by Hammer Film Productions. A number of props and set pieces were reused from the Hammer horror films. Here's a fascinating detail most people don't know. Costume designer Sue Blaine conducted no research for her designs. Yet Blaine has claimed that her creations for the film directly affected the development of punk rock fashion trends, such as torn fishnet stockings and colorfully dyed hair. When Rocky Horror hit theaters in 1975, it was a complete flop. The film opened in the United States at the United Artists Theater in Westwood, Los Angeles, California, on September 26, 1975. Although the theater was selling out every night, it was noted that many of the same people were returning to see the movie. This audience turned out to be an exception, however, and it did not do well elsewhere in the U.S. Initial reception was extremely negative, and the film seemed destined for obscurity. But then something unprecedented happened. The film was then relaunched as a midnight movie, beginning its run at the Waverly Theater in New York City on April 1, 1976. After its initial poor performance at the box office, the Rocky Horror Picture Show gained popularity as a midnight movie, a non-mainstream film screened at midnight in a counterculture setting, leading to a cult following. The audience participation phenomenon grew organically. The film came into its own when theaters began showing it at midnight screenings, now infamous for the almost ritualistic ways the audience dresses, shouts, and flings objects at the screen. Here are some bizarre truths about Rocky Horror that most fans don't know. Tim Curry says he attempted to see a midnight showing of the film at the Waverly Theater and was kicked out by an usher for being an imposter. After showing his passport, the usher apologized and invited him in, but Curry declined. Princess Diana was a Rocky Horror fan. Richard O'Brien changed his name from Richard Smith to O'Brien, his beloved maternal grandmother's name, one day while on the phone to British Actors Equity, to avoid confusion with another Richard Smith. Rocky Horror continues to spark controversy even today. The movie was banned in South Africa several weeks after release by the Board of Censors, but not before it had been seen by some 250,000 viewers and had a strong cult following. In recent years, a vague anti-drag bill proposed in Florida could ban Rocky Horror Picture Show and other live performances, showing how the film's gender-bending themes remain controversial nearly 50 years later. With a new documentary and a Broadway revival planned for 2026, the cult classic is more boundary-pushing than ever. To mark the milestone, a restored 4K version of the film will hit theaters, and Blu-ray, actors will reunite for panels and new merch will hit shelves. The truth about the Rocky Horror Picture Show is that it succeeded precisely because it failed first. What started as an unemployed actor's tribute to B-movies became a cultural phenomenon that has run continuously in theaters for nearly 50 years, longer than any other film in history. Its journey from box office bomb to midnight movie legend proves that sometimes the most authentic art finds its audience in the most unexpected ways. Rocky Horror didn't just break the fourth wall, it demolished the entire theater and rebuilt it as a space for misfits, outcasts, and anyone brave enough to do the time warp.